Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to KSNT News here on your Thursday morning. I'm here with House Minority Leader Jim Ward to discuss the president's nomination of Governor Brownback for Ambassador for International Religious Freedom. The big news, of course, this morning is that announcement. And how does this decision impact Kansas?
Oh, it's going to change state government significantly, not because the new governor will have different policies, but because we have a school finance decision coming down in the next few weeks. Most of the legal minds think we'll be coming back for a special session. So you've got a new governor, a highly contentious issue, and a need for finding more revenue. You know how well we did just a couple of months ago. Yeah. So you're going to see a lot of, plus there's an election coming up for governor, and there are at least 5 people running for governor not named Jeff Collier yet. And so it's going to be a little bit of chaos on the Republican side for a while. Yeah,
absolutely. Chaos, I think, is a good way to describe that. A lot going on right now. Do you think it could have a negative impact?
Oh, you know, I think it will be rough for a while. Yeah. Usually this would be a good time for a transition because of the summer and fall to give the new governor an opportunity to get used to the office before the pressures of a legislature. But because I think of the upcoming potential for a special session that raises the stakes, and then you add the election, which seems to have started earlier this year or this cycle. Yes. I think that there will be a little bit of rough waters as the Republicans come to get their arms around this new change. Now, the key thing is it's just because of a new phase. Yeah. Jeff Collier's been a Brownback follower. He's drank the Kool-Aid from beginning. The 2 things I would point out different than Brownback and Collier, Sam Brownback's been on the ballot 5 times statewide. Mm-hmm. If you're an ultra-conservative, you have some connection to the governor, either in a campaign or one of his political positions. You have a network and some loyalty. Jeff doesn't have that. He doesn't bring that kind of infrastructure in as governor. And there are already 5 people running for governor who think they can do the job better than Jeff can. So you'll have a lot of that political posturing, and it'll be interesting to watch. Yeah, absolutely. And Jeff, this morning, let's talk a little bit about the highlights and the lowlights. You mentioned some there of Governor Brownback's tenure. You know, I'll say there's 2 things that will stand out about Governor Brownback. It's a failed leadership. Unfortunately, he was given pretty much a blank check. He had the legislature that was of his thinking, and you look around state government today, there's not an agency or an essential core service that hasn't been negatively affected. Schools were in court on constitutionality. Our state mental hospital is closed for federal money because it's unsafe. You look at the child protective services and all of the post audits that have come out. Roads and bridges are starting to deteriorate because of all the money, the high amount of debt he's created. And the second thing I think that he will be tagged with is when he came to Topeka, he brought that hyper-partisanship from Washington. His first speech to the Republican caucus 7 years ago said, I want to pass a budget this year that's a Republican budget and has no Democratic votes. That kind of hyper-partisan really hadn't been here, and now it's become pretty standard.
All right, thank you, Jim. Now I have a question, of course. You know, obviously we have an election coming up and a lot of changes in the governor's position. Jim, do you think you would run for governor?
Well, I will say that a lot of smart people have talked to me over the last couple of months about that opportunity. When Paul Davis, who was our candidate a few years ago, decided to run for Congress, that opened up an opportunity. And whenever smart people, it's not only flattering, but you have to take their words for consideration. So we're looking at it.
All right. Well, House Minority Leader Representative Jim Ward, thank you so much here for being with us this morning. Lots of changes I know going on in our government today. We appreciate you being on the show this morning. Big announcement. And from there, we'll head on over to weather with meteorologist Kyle Borkett.